on YouTube. How you guys doing? So I've come to the decision that I'm going to be competing this upcoming year. I don't really know much about that decision yet. I just know that I want to compete at some point in 2016, probably somewhere in the summer, middle of the year. Yeah, I don't really know what organization I want to go through or who my coach is going to be to help me prepare for that. But I had recently just a friend of mine competed, so it really kind of re-inspired me to get back to what the true goal here is. And it's not just, bulking and then cutting just to do it. It's to compete at some point. And I really want that to be this upcoming year. I feel like it'll probably be the best time for me to do it. I've been larger than I have ever have been before, and I think if I do cut down now, I'll probably be at a pretty decent weight. Not huge, but for a physique competition, I think it'll be doable. So that's one decision I've made, sort of. Don't know the fine details yet, but I'm going to be figuring it out. I have until January that I'm still going to be bulking. So I think after that, I'll probably figure out what I'm going to be doing as for a coach, and the venue for where the competition will be and all that stuff. So there's tons of stuff to figure out, but just wanted to let you know that's really when I'm hoping to compete is next year. The other thing I wanted to bring up is I've messed around with my 5-3-1 numbers for my lifts, and the reason I'm bringing this up is I just want to let you guys know that even if you start doing something one way, you might figure out it's not the best way to do it, and that's all right. We make mistakes and we can figure out how to change them, and your numbers might not always be correct, so your calories might not always be right. If you mess with them a little bit and change them, you might find that right combination for you. So for me, those 5-3-1 numbers that I did for the first 3 weeks, 3 weeks ago now, were not enough. They just weren't hard enough, so I didn't really get anything out of those 3 weeks. So I almost just wasted kind of 3 weeks, I guess you could say. But in a sense, I didn't waste those 3 weeks because I learned something out of that experience. And what I learned is that I need to go heavier. So through this 5-3-1 program, he recommends taking the guy who made this, I think his name is Jim Wendler. He recommends figuring out what your 1 RM is for your bench, deadlift, squat, and overhead press, and then take a 90% of that. So my squat, my predicted 1 RM for the squat was 425 pounds, and then taking 90% of that drops it to like 385 or something like that. So then you take that new number, that 385, and that's your 100%. So any number you take off of that, right? So for this whole lift, we're doing percentages of that max. So I know it's somewhat confusing. I would actually be lifting 65% of 90% of my actual max. Confusing, but instead of doing squats where I should be, I'm doing lighter than I should. And I mean, it's beneficial to start like this, taking a 90% and using it as your 100% 1 RM, because it can give you a kind of a buffer zone so you don't go out and hurt yourself, and so you don't plateau as quickly. So I did that for the first 3 weeks with all my lifts, realizing that that's not enough for me. So now I recalculated my numbers, basing all my percentages off my actual 1 RM, my 100% lift, as opposed to a 90%. So I did that the other day with bench and squat, and I actually got up fairly heavy. I did, what did I do? 230 for 6 on the bench, which I realize isn't very much, but that's one of my weaker lifts. I'm not very strong on that. And then I ended up doing 365 for 6 on the squat. So that's good. On the last set, you do 3 sets, one at 65%, one at 75%, and one at 85%. And on the last set, you're supposed to go for as many reps as you can. So 3 weeks ago, when I first started the program, I was able to do 10 reps with the numbers that I was calculating. on my last set. So you don't want to be doing double what is prescribed. So increase the weights, recalculated everything, and now I got 6 reps on my last set. So I was really pushing it, and I was really struggling on that last set. So it's good. I think this is going to help me make progress a little bit quicker and hopefully not plateau. But we'll see how that goes, and I'll keep you guys up to date. All right, so you guys take care. Have a good day.